to them before those hostiles can.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is AA Fitzy88, bringing to you some more
Secure and activate it.
Ghost Recon Future Soldier on the map boat, or ship, or love boat, or whatever it's called. I will never learn map names. I don't know if it's just some weird type of dyslexia that I have, but give me any game where they have map names and I will forget them all the time. I'm no good at it. I think it started with Bad Company 2 with some of those friggin' map names they came up with. And since then, I just don't even pay attention anymore. When you're in the queue loading up the game and you get to vote on which map you want to play, I will remember the map name, I will remember what the map looks like, and all is good. And as soon as the game is over, or soon after that, I forget everything. Maybe it's old age, I don't know. Do you guys have that problem? Probably not. You guys are all pro gamers, right? Yeah, just kidding. Anyway, yeah, more Ghost Recon. Watch this huge fail. Walking down a hallway, burst firing into a guy that's in cover. Who do you think is going to win that gunfight? Exactly. Alright, back to it. Purpose of this gameplay is basically to humor you guys. I am getting better at it. I think this is like my 4th or 5th hour. This gameplay was actually recorded last week. When I'm at work and working through the week, I rarely play video games. That and the fact that my children have basically taken over all the consoles in the house. I do have Xbox, I do have PlayStation 3, and I do have a Nintendo Wii, and the kids like them all. So when I come home from work, I'm usually chatting up the wife for a while. We eat dinner, I help her with the dishes, and basically, because I'm an early riser, that gives me about 2 hours until I have to hit the sheets. And in those 2 hours usually involves about an hour and a half of playtime with the kids and a half hour to myself. So if I'm going to play a video game, I gotta be hot and horny and ready to go. And that usually doesn't happen because usually my dogs are barking fairly heavily from walking around all day at work. So the majority of my weeknights are spent on the couch, chilling out with the missus, watching some TV, or reading a book or something. But on my weekends, when I do get some free time, if the kids are off to a birthday party or helping mom with something, I will sneak down into the man cave, fire up the games, and run with it as best I can. It's kind of a pity because it seems like all the games that are coming out now, they're making the multiplayer so huge and so epic that it takes up a great deal of time to play. That's why I've kind of stepped out of Battlefield 3 for a while. Well, for the moment, I just can't invest the 40 minutes per game all the time, and I'm not going to hop in and play any team deathmatch or something. That's just not my type of game. I like the big objective type based, team oriented, go get 'em guys, rally with the troops, and fuck the other team up type games. But when they're averaging 40 plus minutes a game, man, few and far between the time I can actually sit down and enjoy myself on one of those games. This one's a little bit different. They've kind of limited their game times to around 15 minutes. That's something that's a little more, down my alley, I guess. And so far so good. I started off gaming as a SOCOM player, huge fan of third-person shooters, and back long ago I was a big Gears of War fan. Not so much in the multiplayer. I did dabble a bit, but I wasn't much of a competitive gamer back. Still not, but more so than what I was. And I favor the third-person shooters. I think it's just something that I've gotten used to, putting in 1.5 trillion hours into the classic SOCOM games up until Confrontation, which I did get my feet wet a bit with a bunch of my friends, but it definitely lost its edge for me. The gameplay wasn't as good, wasn't as exciting, and I kind of lost touch with it. Shortly after that, a little game called Halo came out, and that introduced me to the whole first-person shooter genre. And I fought that off so much. I would just trash talk anything first-person shooter. How stupid it looked, how crappy it played. All you see on your TV screen is a big floppy donkey dick of a gun hanging out and a stupid head bob, and it's just terrible to watch. But after a while, games like you know, Call of Duty and Halo and all the big names and Battlefield all came out, and sure enough, it's all first-person shooters, and you know, you got to start playing with it. You got to start going with the flow and changing up your game a bit. So, you know, stepped away from my hardcore SOCOM years where, you know, that's all I wanted to do, and tried the first-person stuff. And yeah, I learned to like it. They made it a lot better than what it used to be, and you know, so on and so forth. So, but it's nice to see when a good third-person shooter title comes out. You know, you play games like Assassin's Creed or Gears of War, like I mentioned before. I'm more of a military action shooter type guy. That's stuff I've always been interested in. So when the Ghost Recon series started to launch, those were games that I really took a shine to. And this one's paying off quite a bit too. I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I've only got about 5 hours into it. I think I'm like on a level 11 for my rifleman and a level 1 for my other 2 classes. But I am enjoying it. When I do have the free time, I don't mind hopping on for 15 minutes here or there and hopping into a game and playing and meeting some people and playing objectively. I think it's a really fun game, and I'm having a ball with it. Now it's a little confusing, like I mentioned in my last video. The snap to cover, I think, is a little too sticky. If you're running around cover to cover and you're playing this game, you'll know what I mean. Sometimes you get too close to a corner and you just, you know, your finger hits the button and you stick to the corner and you don't really do what you want to do. And this whole aiming down the sights thing here through the it's a 3.5 or a 4 times scope that I have on here. Little awkward when you snap from third person to that. Kind of strange. A little bit different if you're playing a first person shooter and you go from you know, that look to aim down the sights. Is a little bit more fluid, but tricky to get used to. But you know, everybody's on the same playing field as far as that's concerned. And you know, the customizing of the weapons, that goes a long way too. In the beginning, when you're rolling around and you're not paying any attention to what you're slapping on your LMG or your assault rifle, you're gonna pay for it. And like I mentioned in my last video, the whole what the hell they call it, gunsmithing, where you can take your customized weapons to the shooting range and shoot with them. I think that's great, and I'm finding that very useful in the games I've played since this one. I'm improving every time I play the game, which is you know, that's to be expected. Everybody does that. But without the tools that these game developers put into the game, I don't think that would happen as quickly. This guy just walks into that. Bad timing for him. So, what do you guys think of the game so far? Are you a big Ghost Recon fan? Have you ever played a series before? You know, first time playing it? What do you think? Post up in the comments and let me know. If you're playing it on Xbox, shoot me your gamer tag and we can get together and game sometime. Best times for me are usually on the weekends, and it's usually either middle of the afternoon or late at night on the weekends. Okay. One thing that I'd also like to talk about in this game is the map design. Now, since I've been playing these games, I'm finding that they make excellent use of flanking routes. Now, like most game developers, when you design or make levels for games, you always have to have that sneaky backdoor, or, you know, the 2 ways in and the 1 way out. You know, the really intelligent maps that you can, that as people evolve and get good in the games, they can't easily exploit them. These maps so far, from what I see, are point in case. I mean, I don't think you can find a spot, from what I've seen, and I've played a lot of this map actually, where you can exploit a vantage point to, you know, hang back and snipe. There's just, the line of sight isn't there. And as you can see, it's the whole length of a ship. You got 2 or 3 levels that you can climb up and down on. You have hallways going up and down and side to side, and the length of the boat and the width of the boat, Like I said, the 3 levels, stairs, you got shipping containers, you got tons of cover. I don't think there's any way you can actually either exploit spawns, because they move. If you spawn trap in this game, the spawn just flips and then they get in behind you very quickly. The maps aren't big enough where that can play out as an advantage for the other team. In fact, they're medium-sized maps, so if you do trap them back where the other team actually gets into spawn behind you, it doesn't take long for them to find you and kill you very quickly. Actually, it's very fast. One big gripe about this is I'd like to see the maps just a tad bit bigger. When you're running with a 3-man squad only, and it's very, very, very difficult to spawn in on a squad mate because it's an objective type game. If they're too close to an objective, or they're in combat, or intel is getting hacked, there's a variety of reasons why they will not let you spawn on your teammates, and that can be a bit of a pain in the ass because that makes you spawn back at the base. And if your team is defending an objective or taking an objective and you die and you can't spawn in on them, that's a real pain in the ass. And I don't know how they could fix that up. Because when you play other games and you can spawn on a squad, you're actually, if they're under fire, you're taking that chance that if I spawn in on this guy and he's knee deep in the shit, there's a good chance that I'm going to take a rogue nade, or I'm going to fall under the same fire that he's falling under. But it's a chance you take, and games like Battlefield, you can bleed tickets quick if games are getting hectic and people are just spawning in and spawning in and spawning in into the heat and trying to keep the pressure on, whether they're defending or attacking. You can just bleed tickets. I don't really understand why you couldn't do something like that in this game. Maybe I'm not thinking it through enough, or paying attention to what it might do to the game dynamic. But I am finding it frustrating, the lack of times you can spawn in on a squad mate. Basically, you can only spawn in on them if all is well and they're 30 feet out of their spawn after dying, then you can spawn on them. But if there's any action going on, you can't immediately get in there and help them out. Anyway, that's what I'm finding. I don't know if that's causing a problem with you guys at all. Who knows? Went for the data hack here, but some guy killed him before I got a chance to do it. Yeah, so like I said before, are you guys playing this game? Do you like it? Likes, dislikes? I know a few people that I've talked to have mentioned that it's not their cup of tea, that it looks a little slow paced. Yeah, it is a little bit slower, some of the games out there, but objectively, I think it's got it where it needs it. It's interesting to play. The level designs are nice, the graphics are nice, the sound's great, controls fairly smooth. However, the camera can get a little wonky at times when you're hopping over knee-high walls or out windows. You get that camera bounce where everything kind of shakes. I know they're trying to beef up the graphics and make it as sexy as possible, but I don't know. I guess it's a toss-up, right? Do you want to go for realism and looks and graphics, or do you want to go for what doesn't screw me up while I'm playing? It's a tight line. I mean, you don't want to go pussy and just say, I don't like the head bob, I don't like the whole jumping thing. Just make me, head on a swivel, bopping around the map with a gun in my hand, like the old days when you're playing, Doom and shit like that. Stupid grenade. This kid got lucky. Let me see where it landed. Probably landed in my backpack or something. God. Yeah, so flapping my gums for 16 minutes is really taxing on me, and especially when I don't have a lot to talk about. If I was ripping the map apart and killing everybody, I think it'd be a little bit different. If I knew a lot about this game, I think it might be a little bit different. But as you guys know me, I'm an average gamer. I think when next time I do video games and record, I think I'm just going to stick with live commentary. First of all, it's easier. Second of all, I think it's more exciting for a viewer to listen to a live comment game, especially if They rage a lot and do a lot of dumb shit. Anyway, that's the map on that's the match on the boat map. You can see our team score did really well. A lot of good shooters out there, a lot of good teamwork, and yeah, that's it for this one. Talk to you guys later.